Welcome to Around Town, featuring what's going on here in the greater Concord area. I'm your host, Dick Patten. It's a pleasure to welcome you today on this hot summer day, and I'm pleased to welcome as my guest Col.Kevin Jordan from the Hampshire Fish and Game. And I suppose with this warm weather, you don't have charge of the Marine Patrol.
No, we do drownings. We do the recoveries and the drownings. We work with Marine Patrol. They don't have a dive team. We do all of that. So that's a concern, but the heat affects us as well because of search and rescue and drownings. Those people dehydrate quickly in this kind of heat, especially when you're doing physical, activities, and that's strenuous physical activity. So our calls increase, just like everybody else's. So. Yeah.
And the bears.
And the bears are out. We're having an awful time with bears this year.
I don't get it.
I think it's a combination of things, actually. It's the fact that it was not a great year for natural foods.
Really?
Berries have come and apples are coming, but they didn't come out as early as we need them to. They need to come out, we need to have a wet spring and have those things come out early in the spring.
Really?
To eliminate, or not eliminate, because we can't seem to do that, but at least limit the amount of bear issues. The other thing we're doing, unfortunately, is we're teaching bears all across the state because we're growing in population. We're infringing kind of on their territory, and bears are quickly figuring out these are great places to eat. I can come to your house and fill my stomach fairly easily. All I need is a few bird feeders and a little rubbish. So I think they're becoming more habituated, if you will, with people, and that's a concern of ours. A bear isn't a predatory animal, in spite of what people think. He's not going to plot to get you as you come out your front door. They're not interested in that. What they will do, if they're trapped or surprised, they can react negatively, like they did for that poor woman in Groton, where we had a wild bear caught in a confined space trying to get out. And defensively, they can do a lot of damage, Unlike TV, they don't attack people. Black bears are not attack-prone animals, so thankfully, because we'd have people injured across the state, because we have a lot of them.
Well, your first thought would be they are going to attack you.
Of course. And,
Yeah.
I like that. I want people to respect them and understand they're a wild animal and they're powerful. But at the same token, we get calls every time. I don't want to eat my grandchildren. I don't want my kids out in the yard. They're not going to hurt people unless they're surprised or cornered. That's when they're dangerous. I've dealt with them for 30 years, and we can live with bears if we act as responsible adults and take care of our food sources so they don't come into our yards.
It's just amazing, and I don't get it. Why do they like bird food?
I don't know what the call is to black oil
there's
sunflower, but they love them.
But there's nothing I know of in bird feeders that would attract a bear.
I know, but they can smell that stuff. We've proven it for miles.
Honey, I could see.
Right. Oh yeah, anybody that has raises bees, if they don't have an electric fence around their hives, they'll lose them because they'll knock those hives over and clean them out. Electricity works really well to send them off in another direction. They don't like to get electrical shock, and it universally works pretty well to fend them off. So we recommend people doing that around chicken coops and beehives. If you put up electric fence, you won't have a problem.
I was talking with a friend of mine. She and her son live over there off of, I call it the old dump road.
Yeah.
But anyway, Turnpike Road, whatever. But she said they have everything over there from deer,
I'm sure.
a lot of baby deer.
Yep.
Then they had red foxes over there, gray fox, of course woodchucks, everything else.
Yeah.
But they haven't seen it. They did see a bear once years ago,
Oh yeah.
but they've not seen anything since.
We've had bear complaints in Concord. I've had them right up here
Oh,
on the
yeah.
heights many times. Not like I have in other places, but we've gotten calls. They're pretty much statewide, so they're more prevalent, of course, up north. But Plymouth and north is where I seem to have the most calls. But we have bear issues down here as well. They're statewide, just like the moose population. People would be surprised what's close to Concord. You think of it as a big city, but there's a lot of rural areas around Concord.
Well, years ago, when we lived on, as a kids, we lived on East Sugar Ball Road before they built 393, but the broken ground
Yes.
over there off Portsmouth Street.
Yeah.
They said there was a lot of wild animals up in there.
Yeah. A lot of hunting activity goes on up there. So.
But now with them building houses and all that stuff, I mean, it's kind of cut into that up there somewhat.
Changes them, but they don't. They learn to survive in amongst, an urban environment. So they adapt. All the animals that we have in New Hampshire adapt pretty well to people. So, but every now and then you'll have like these bears. You'll get a conflict because their main focus every day is to get food, and they'll do whatever it takes to do that. So that's where we run into trouble. From them, but, it never ends.
I haven't seen. Of course, they said about bobcats and all that stuff, but I know the park manager where we live said that there was a cat just recently they found. He was living, but they had like a big hole in the side, and you could see where it's kind of mattered or something.
Really?
Couldn't catch it to either put it
anything
down or
with it.
whatever,
That's
but
too bad.
had to be something. They thought it was something that must have attacked it. I said, well, it could have been a bobcat.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a fox. I don't know.
Yeah, or a fisher. Any of those things would
Yeah,
do
I
it.
didn't think of
Those
those,
are all
yeah.
things that are in the neighborhood or could be in the neighborhood.
And of course, I know we had an overrun of squirrels this year and
Yeah,
chipmunks.
yeah, we got a lot of calls on them this year, actually.
Why?
I don't. They run in cycles, from year to year. And I've had a lot of people come in and tell us that they see a lot of chipmunks and a lot of mice this year. So I don't know if it's just a higher year. Some of their predators are down. Their numbers may be down. I know our fox population has dropped a bit. So, I don't know if those things factor in. I'm sure they do. But we've had banner populations.
She was saying over there off of Spring Hill Drive there that foxes love woodchucks. I didn't know that.
They do. Yeah. Bobcats do. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't think they could catch a woodchuck.
Oh yeah, they're actually pretty effective hunters when it comes to that. They'll, and that's the neat thing about it. A lot of these animals, the way Mother Nature controls populations, albeit a bit cruel, is very effective. In keeping some of these numbers down. So and it's not necessarily a desire that everyone would want to watch, but it is effective. Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, it's just scary.
Yes.
I mean, I think if I ever walked out back at night and saw a bear sitting there, or a fox, or any of that stuff, I mean, it's
Sure.
like, but
The best thing you can do is just let them know that you're there. Take out that surprise element. They don't want any more to do with you than we do of them, really. But they can react dangerously if they're surprised. That's the thing.
I heard, there was a story I heard recently that some animal attacked, was it a baby cow, calf,
We've had a little of that, this year.
or something of that nature around here,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I ever remember.
Well, Nottingham, we had a couple of small calves that were attacked by bear, swatted by bear. Had injuries. We caught that bear and got it out of there. That's pretty rare. You don't see that a lot. I've got pictures of bears sitting in a dog pen with a barking dog at the other end of the pen while the bear eats the dog food. He's sitting up like you or I would, eating the dog food. So they're not. Their focus isn't typically. On occasion they'll try to take a goat or a small calf. They certainly will small deer. But typically, if there's an easier source around them, they'll go to it. They're lazy. They just want that food. They don't want to work. They'll take the piece that they have to work the least to get, to put the effort in.
Gee.
Yeah.
And bees. A lot of bees this summer too. I've seen.
And again, last year those numbers were down according to the bee farmers. So
Yeah.
I think it runs in cycles. I don't know that we fully understand it, and whether we like it or not, or believe it or not, the climate is changing, and that is affecting a lot of this. That's affecting. I think it's part of the reason our moose population is changing. When you have warmer temperatures or for a longer period of time, it has an effect on everything living. So animals are no different, than people are. So I think that's part of it too.
I just I remember, like you said, as kids, of course, we used to raise chickens, and we used to lose a chicken once in a while to a weasel
Yeah.
or a skunk, obviously. But other than that, we've been lucky around Jensen's. We have not seen too much over there.
Yeah.
But although one night, my wife heard a cat outside of our kitchen window that jumped up on something. I don't know, we had no lights on, but they must have been able to see in there, see us standing there, but it was meowing like crazy. And we didn't put no lights on. I don't know, we've never seen a cat.
Ah,
Never had
people
a cat.
don't have cats there?
No, if
Really?
they do, they keep them inside.
Yeah.
They have dogs, but again, the dogs are indoors at night.
Indoors at night, yeah.
But this cat was gross. It was almost like something was out there chasing. I don't know what it was. Then it just took off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
something had to have been chasing it.
Something had to have been after it, yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't want to let it in or shoot
Explore it further.
No, that's all we needed.
We're in the middle of our funding bill over at the legislature, the
Are you?
SB 48. Yeah, we're meeting on that every Friday, trying to come up with a better and more adequate funding source for the department, which is interesting.
Well, didn't they cut you a couple of years ago?
They've cut us they've cut the budget, although they don't have a lot of control over our budget because we're self-funded.
Yeah.
But they used to give us contributions out of the general fund because we provide a lot of services statewide for people that don't have licenses or haven't paid any user fees, so are not invested. And so they gave us some general funds, and they cut those on occasion. But we've struggled for years. The legislature has, to try and come up with a way to fund it adequately that would be a one-shot deal where you wouldn't have to return every year asking for more and more and more. So they're working to find ideas now to carry us through to try and solve that problem. So, and they've been meeting every Friday. It's been interesting, some of the ideas. We got to go back again this Friday. But and then, assuming they come up with some good ideas or plans, then we got to get it through the legislature this next session. So, to implement them if it requires that. So, as you know, that can be a challenge too.
Do you think that's going to be a big change this year at the top, down from the bottom, or what's going to happen?
I think in my opinion, at the House, I think you're going to see the House side change. I do. I don't know what'll happen in the Senate, but I think you're going to see the House change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
A lot of new ones I know are fun. Some of the old ones are not running again, which really surprised me.
There's some experienced people there now coming back, so
Yeah, I'm
that's
surprised.
yeah,
Or
it is. Yeah.
They usually run the roost.
Right.
But in a way, it's probably a good thing. But
Well, change is good sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's a
I
good
know it.
thing. Yeah.
but it's crazy.
Mm.
It really is.
This will, if you get in this year, be how many years have you been there?
This will be my 5th term.
5th term. Good for you. Yeah, it's hard to get people that have had a few terms under their belt to go back.
Well, I think the problem is,
That experience is key, though.
one of the big problems is they think it's a big money-making deal,
Right.
and it's not.
Of course
You
not.
get paid $100 a year, basically.
Right.
They take out taxes, so you're lucky if you get $75 or $80 a check for a year. And then, to top that off, you get no mileage in Concord.
Right.
So it's not a money deal.
Right.
The only thing you can say is, well, we get state place, big deal.
Right.
But other than that, it's not
you don't get
any
any other
kind of a
benefit,
thing.
no.
Not if you lived up in Pittsburgh or Colebrook or Berlin
When
or
you're driving.
anywhere down to Littleton or Plymouth
Yeah.
or Hinsdale up here or Hampton Falls or Seabrook. You don't. It's no money.
Now, do they pay mileage for the guys that are traveling?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Oh yes.
Okay.
That's where they make their money.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, in the winter time, if they have to stay overnight somewhere, they have hotel
Discounts.
discounts
Sure.
for them.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing really to,
Oh no, it's not a money-making proposition. The other thing, it's hard to get people because people are working.
Well, that's what a lot of the young ones don't understand.
It limits your ability to go. There's a high demand on your time over there. I know I
Yeah.
go over a lot, and I'm paid to go there. I couldn't imagine taking time off work every time I had to be there. that's a huge commitment. So.
I'm not sure if I can get reelected, but I'll go back. What I'll ask for committee assignment. I might ask again for Fish and Game, but
Good.
I like being busy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I love transportation, but and I did Fish and Game the first year I was in.
Yeah, you did. I remember when you were on it. Yeah.
It was interesting, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just too much politics over there sometimes.
Well, that's what runs it, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm hoping to see a commuter train come back up here again. I don't know.
Yeah.
It almost made it this time. If they thought, what made me laugh was they thought Amazon was coming right in. You know, boy,
know,
they were
yeah.
ready to give them everything.
Right. Yeah, it would have brought a lot of jobs in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly.
But when they didn't come in, it took away the train part of it. But
Right.
I don't know. And then of course this lottery stuff. You see how much money they took in for scratch tickets.
I know. Yeah.
Phew, brother.
Yeah.
Yet they don't want gambling.
I know. Yeah. I know.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
No casino,
No.
no gambling.
Right.
But yet, scratch tickets.
Yeah.
Everything from $1 to $25,
Yeah.
and then bingo, the kingpin of all of them.
Yeah. Keno. Yeah.
Keno. I haven't heard much about Keno at all because Concord did vote it in.
Right.
Other towns and cities around Concord did, but we didn't choose to do it here.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I laughed when I saw it in the paper today about how much money it's been taking in for scratch tickets.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, was it 300 million or
Yeah,
something? $320 million dollars.
Yeah, I read that.
Jesus.
Yeah. A lot of money.
But I don't know. Now your next big thing, of course, the hunting season starts in the fall.
Yeah, actually, in
September.
2 weeks, bear season will open up. It's hard to believe. 3 weeks.
Bear season?
Bear season will open up. And,
Really?
Yeah, and then it goes. Once we get into bear season on September 1st, it starts. We go right into bow season for deer, and then the seasons just come one right after another.
You have
right
a
up
turkey
through
season,
Christmas.
don't
We
you, in
do.
October?
We'll have a turkey season this fall. Yep.
What's going on with them? Are they still plentiful?
Plentiful. They're all over the state, from one end to the other.
We saw one the other day here in Concord. There was one over by us that had, I don't know if it was mother or father turkey, but
Yep.
they had like 6 babies right
No
behind them.
kidding, yeah.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
were right behind them.
Yeah, walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, the population of turkey is very strong. Deer is good, bear is good. The only thing we're struggling with is moose, and I don't know that we've figured that out yet.
Well,
They've
they said
got-
the ticks or something.
well, that and the climate thing has made a big difference, Dick. They're working pretty hard to try and figure out a way to offset that. But it's stabilized, but we'd like to see it come back. You know, we had a good population for
Did
a
we
long
have
time.
elk here at one time?
We did years and years ago, yes.
What happened though?
Just, I think again, because the state grew and the habitat shrunk, they require a lot of open areas, and we don't have a lot of that left in New Hampshire unless you go way up north, and even that is a bit limited. So I think that was part of it. They commercially harvested them, so there wasn't a lot of controls on them. So when that happens, it doesn't take long to drive a population right out of the
It's
state.
right, Caribou. Remember that?
Yes,
What-
yeah.
And that didn't take either. Really.
It didn't take, no. And every now and then you'll get, they discussed wolves one year, or a couple of years, they talked about introducing wolves again, different groups did. You'll get different ideas like that every now and then, but we haven't done any of that in a long time. Turkey was the last real introduction that we had any great success
You
with.
think they would try to bring that caribou back in here?
I don't
again?
see them doing that. I don't think we've got the terrain for that anymore. I don't think we've got the open areas that we need for it. I can't see it thriving. You know, the concern I would have is in the southern part of the state was so congested now, becoming more and more congested. It's just not going to work. We struggle with deer,
Yeah.
keeping people from getting killed from hitting deer and keeping them out of people's yards in the southern part of the state. And we've got a very healthy population, and we work pretty hard to keep those numbers in check so that they don't become that problem. So I don't see us ever doing that.
Where was it I saw they had a moose that paired up with a cow recently?
We used to get that once in a while, or a horse. You'd get a young moose go into a horse corral and stay.
Really?
Yeah, and we'd have to go in and tranquilize it and move it. We used to get that every year.
No, I never heard a
Yeah.
horse.
Yeah, I don't know what the attraction is. I don't know why they The last one I removed was in a horse corral and had been there for days and didn't seem interested in leaving. And the other animals were terrified of it, but we went up, tranquilized it, and removed it, which is a big undertaking to tranquilize a moose and get it out of the place.
I
and
guess if I
relocate it.
think about it, maybe a moose would be, I mean, a horse would be more of a resembling a
Kind of, yeah. I don't
more
know
so
what
than
they,
a cow.
but they've been attracted to both. I've had issues with both.
Well,
And,
yeah. What was it over there in Conway, or was it
Yeah.
Albany? Some in that
Yeah.
area that some guy had a moose that was hanging around one of his cows
Yeah.
there for quite a while.
Yeah.
They had T-shirts made of it or something
Oh yeah,
there, and it was
yeah. They usually capitalize on it. Normally, the press will run stories on it, and it's funny in the beginning, but they can be damaging after a while. They walk through fence lines, and they can cause all kinds of problems. So, after a while, they call us, and we come in and remove them. Take them out of there. So.
But I don't. I mean, they don't try to impregnate them or something.
No, they don't do anything like that. It's kind of a companionship
Yeah.
thing, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but the one in the horse corral, I could not get that moose to leave that corral. Run around all day long as I pursued it and wouldn't jump the fence. Couldn't get it to do it, and it easily could have. He just was not interested in doing it, and we ended up tranquilizing him and fortunately moving him up into Nash Stream, and it worked very well. So we didn't injure him, and nobody got hurt doing it, which was good. So. Because again, you're messing with a very powerful wild animal that can be dangerous and unpredictable. So
Yeah.
you never know how that's going to work. Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, and when you watch TV though, and you see some of these foolish things on TV, like this today I watched was a Good Morning America about that crocodile who this college student was
Yeah.
friendly with it now.
Yeah.
And
The other one I watched was the buffalo. The guy challenging the buffalo.
oh,
out
that
in the
was
park.
stupid, was it?
Yeah, it's
Can you
crazy.
imagine getting out of your car and getting that thing to charge and all the things? Well,
Do a
what-
lot of harm to an animal doing that too, because they'll do things they wouldn't normally do.
Well, I mean, my
You put 'em
goodness
out in
gracious,
traffic,
why?
you get hurt.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, what
Yeah.
in the heck would anybody? I mean, I can remember going up into up to Pittsburgh one time. I had a couple of my exchange students went up there for an overnight, and we found this whole nest of deer, buffalo, moose up there.
Yep.
And I said, "Get away from them!"
Yeah.
He's going down with a camera, and they get out of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you know what they're gonna do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. They're very unpredictable. You got to be very careful of that. People don't understand that though.
No, they don't. And I don't know if it's because they watch it on TV and how they pet them or something.
Yeah, they want that close shot. Yeah.
But I just, oh. And then, of course, like I said, these people go on hikes and they don't bother to stop at the ranger station.
Yeah.
They get lost, call you, and then you go up and spend all night,
Yeah.
only to find out that the guy spent a night in a hotel.
Yeah. Although we paid for that, he did forward
Yeah.
up a check. But
I
yeah,
did
that
that.
was crazy.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
people don't
scary.
stop. And he was a great guy. He very intelligent guy. Just didn't think, and felt really bad afterwards. We had the helicopter in the air. We had crews on the ground. Had been all day. A lot of effort went into that for nothing. So he, like I said, at the end of the day, he paid for that, which was good. So, but yeah, if you could get people just to stop and think a little bit, use a little common sense, it'd be great.
Is it really dry up there in the mountains this year?
It's just-
Canyon
yeah.
Mountain, that area
It
there,
is as much as it is down here. Yeah,
It
it has
is
been a
dry.
dry year for them. Yeah, I think I haven't heard anything in the last couple of weeks with we've gotten some good rainstorms. And I don't know where we're at with that, Dick, but it was very dry.
Oh, yeah.
Northern part of the state was in tough shape. So
We've gotten some heavy rains down
have.
here recently, but
yeah,
I don't know.
It's those slow all-day rains that really do the most good.
Yeah.
Those hard torrential downpours that last 30 seconds or 30 minutes rather, and run off don't help us a lot. It's those long, gentle, all-day rains that we really need.
Man, can you imagine those wildfires out
Oh,
there
I
in
know.
California?
It's amazing. Makes you very happy you live in Little New Hampshire.
I know
Between the
it,
volcanoes and the wildfires, and it's a dangerous world.
I mean, when you think about up north, I mean, brother.
Yeah. I know.
Between the White Mountains and Kearsarge down this way or
Yeah.
whatever. Oh, I would hate to think what would happen if a fire got
That
started.
you lose all of that.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to an end of this, and so you heading out now to a national night out somewhere? You
Yeah,
gotta go
well,
home
I
and
won't be,
rest.
but I've got officers who will be. Yeah, I'm going to go back to work for a little while to finish up the day. I get more done at the end of the day than I do in the beginning, Dick.
I bet you
Everybody
do.
quiets down, so yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll see you this fall, and
You will.
we'll be working. Hopefully we will, and working with you there
Yeah,
in December and January.
Yeah.
But
the legislature will look forward to it again.
I hope so anyway. Hope I can be back here with you.
Yeah.
With that in mind, if you have any questions of Fishing Game, don't be afraid to give him a call at 271-3421.
3128.
3128 is the best number.
Yep.
Okay, and get the latest on what's going on with Fishing Game. So, with that in mind, thanks to Ian Marx, my director, and we'll look forward to all seeing you soon. Watch out for the thunderstorms, and have a great rest of the summer. I'm your host, Dick Patten.